Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just a little over 2 months away from its official release by Disney and Lucasfilm, J.J. Abrams and George Lucas. That's all set and ready to end the sequel trilogy and the Skywalker saga itself. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is going to hold the most new characters out of every single Star Wars film, as well as having the most planets appear in a Star Wars movie to date out of the entire Skywalker saga and the spin-off films. And that really sounds like that they are trying to do a lot of things related to the plot of Episode 9. Now, one thing that a lot of fans have been excited about is, of course, Palpatine in The Rise of Skywalker and how he would be utilized in this movie. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it comes to the new villain of The Rise of Skywalker, this is where things become a little bit unfortunate for exactly how the third act is going to really be reshaped by Disney and Lucasfilm through all the different reshoots and the adjustments that have been going on for the past 2 months. Now, specifically, it's described that during the reshoots for the months of August, September, and now October, it's explained that Disney and Lucasfilm set a plan to change and adjust the second and third acts of the film surrounding the character of Palpatine. It's described that one of the sequences that was a part of the film's third act involved a brand new villain that was most likely portrayed by Matt Smith. It said that during the reshoots, this character was cut from the film in order to give Palpatine double the screen time and to restructure how Palpatine would return in the film by Ian McDiarmid himself. It said that originally Palpatine would return in the form of a very old man in the first and second act that would die a slow death from start to finish of the movie, where Sidious would eventually take over the body of a dark acolyte through his spirit and become far younger than ever before in a different body. However, it's explained that this treatment of Palpatine was scrapped, unfortunately due to reshoots, and that Disney wanted Palpatine in the flesh and to double his screen time as the actual Palpatine in the flesh by Ian McDiarmid, as opposed to a younger actor playing Palpatine's spirit in another body. This was also done for marketing reasons in order to have more footage of Ian and his version of Palpatine in the upcoming trailer and TV spots more so. However, it's described that Palpatine will become younger at a certain point in time in the third act in the final movie, however not as young as fans think, and that he would somehow restore his body to how he appeared in Episode 3, if not a little bit younger than that, where in the first 2 acts of the film, Palpatine is said to be extremely old and holds a different creepy design. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, is this a good or a bad thing? This is by far the biggest question open on the table for discussion. Now, in my opinion, I think it was a bad idea. That's just my opinion. By getting rid of the new villain in The Rise of Skywalker that most likely was portrayed by Matt Smith, and could also explain as to why they took his name off of all the various StarWars.com websites, and all the reshoots that have been happening, by the way, it does make a lot of sense now, is that a lot of the reshoots have all to do with readjusting Palpatine's role in The Rise of Skywalker. Why are they doing reshoots? I don't know. I think that it's because that they may very well want to have more scenes related to the true version of Palpatine portrayed by Ian McDiarmid, and that's exactly what they wanted to do, as opposed to another character actor just portraying somebody with Palpatine's spirit within him. Now, honestly, I think that Palpatine's spirit inside of a new villain's body was the more realistic route to go. I'll be honest with you. I think that was the more realistic route to go in order for Palpatine to survive the second Death Star explosion. Now it leaves me wondering exactly how in the world did Palpatine survive the second Death Star explosion. Now the fact that he is back in the flesh, and from what it seems at least, is that Palpatine never really died. And if that is indeed the case, does that actually destroy the sacrifice of Anakin Skywalker / Vader at the very end of Return of the Jedi? Or is there going to be more meaning behind to it all than that? Now, one thing about Palpatine and this new villain that was cut from what the film actually is expressing here is that, of course, this was all to double the amount of screen time of the real version of Palpatine. Originally, they were going to have an old version of Palpatine basically dying a slow death from pretty much the first to second acts of the movie, where in the third act he would eventually die and use the Force to literally sacrifice himself in order to release his spirit and to travel into the Dark Acolyte's body, hence being a young character in or around the ages of 30 to 35, going up against Rey and Kylo Ren. Now, that to me was better. And then the fact that they are changing things around in order to have Palpatine in the flesh, but he will actually become younger in the final version of the movie to restore his actual look to how he appeared in Revenge of the Sith, if not a little bit younger than that. Because the Palpatine that we're going to get in a majority of the upcoming film is actually said to be him as a very old man, 100+ years old. And that's going to have a new creepy design, apparently, by Disney and Lucasfilm, giving Palpatine a very brand new look that fans are not expecting to see by Ian McDiarmid. What could that mean? That could mean anything, really. So that's a very exciting part, the fact that, they are still doing scenes with Palpatine, but my only concern is, how did he survive the second Death Star? I would love to hear what you guys have to say about that, and I'm sure that we're going to learn more about this in the upcoming film, since JJ said it's all explained. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.